Hey, and you know what? By this time, we'll actually have real episodes airing every second week.
That's right, as well as these mini episodes in between those episodes.
Yeah, because we're conceited and we want to talk about ourselves.
We believe you want to hear us once a week.
And you know what? The stats from Minisode 1 prove that some of you do.
Yes, a small room of you.
A small room.
A small room.
A small room. We could fit you into the Abbey at Patty Bullen's.
Yes, but not into the murder room.
Mm-mm.
No.
No. Well, we could technically fit them into the murder room.
But
if it was... Well, no. We'd have to, like, chop up limbs, right? Like, it would be, like, limbs on limbs on
it'd be the
limbs.
weirdest stacking adventure ever.
But it would make the murder room legit.
Yeah, we're going to pass on that one.
That's a maybe from Champ.
That's about, no kidding, thought about it.
Oh, gosh. So. You know what? I love getting together with my buddy Chris and talking.
Yeah, man, this is great. I'm glad you get to do this. And thank you for joining us. And we are actually back for the MacBook. Yay.
Yes, we are on the MacBook. This should sound a little bit better than the iPhone.
Air quotations.
Air quotations. However, we've decided that there might be times where, like, we're in a pinch and maybe we're on a road trip out to Renfrew or Kingston or Cornwall. These are cities that none of you know about, but just imagine them all as Canada's Detroit.
Well, maybe you know them and you're like, yes, why are you going there? Two new dads should not be going to those towns.
We'll go anywhere for $30.
Legitimately $30, 2 beers, and maybe some gas?
But you know what? Like, if we're both getting $30, we can both chip in $10 to gas.
Yeah, for sure. We're not taking.
And we'll settle for $20.
We'll settle for $20.
I gotta, my car's nice.
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
good on gas.
It's got the XM hooked up.
Yeah, I just got a Ford EcoSport. I got a dad car.
Nice.
I traded in my Chrysler 200 and.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
the 2012.
The 2012.
I got it because Eminem told me to in a Super Bowl ad.
All right.
You're laughing, but it's legit. He said, Matthew, this is the Super Bowl. You should buy a Chrysler 200. And it was 2012.
Oh, all right.
So I bought a Chrysler 200. I couldn't afford it.
Thanks, Slim Shady. Thanks for making some sound financial decisions, my friend Matt.
You know what I could afford? I could afford a bus pass.
Nice. Nice, but you went all in.
The last car I had before that was a 97 Oldsmobile.
Oh, we're not here to trace cars back right
now. No.
Like, good job on the new purchase. Yeah. I had before Eddie was born. I had the Mazda 6, and then I had that for about a year and a half. I mean, just before he was born, I got a family sedan, and then it was crushed.
Yeah, you had the car get crushed.
Yeah, the car get crushed at the anniversary that
it was like
happened.
A brand new car.
It was a year and a half old if that, and some trusses fell off a roof of a project and made my car shish kebab, and it was So
I saw the photos.
So then I got the van for it, and then I got the van from it, and I had the van for about a year and a half, and then Erica came along. But yeah.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, you're in the van now.
Yeah.
I used to work. I'm sorry. We'll get onto this episode very soon, but this. I think this is a funny story. I used to work at a halfway house for guys on parole.
Okay.
22 beds.
Wow.
So we had 22 guys, and these were most of these were lifers. Like, most of these were murders. Most of these were armed robbery, aggravated assault, sexual assault. Like, these were big, heavy dudes. And there was a guy that worked there, and his pride and joy was his car. And it was, I don't even know what type of car it was, but it was definitely a sports car. It was nice. And I'm like, for someone who's in university, you're like, that mom or dad bought that for you, and you're proud about just barely being able to make the insurance payments on it, right?
Yeah.
And so he refused to park it at the bottom of the lot because, and this is a residential house, because the bottom of the lot would be where a lot of the guys would come and go for smokes, and he didn't want any of the guys to get close to his car. So he always parked it near the back of the lot, which is right underneath the fire escape doors and the fire escape ladder. Which is funny because we never really had breakouts. We had maybe 2 breakouts a year, and it was routinely caught very quickly. We would make one phone call and it's oh yeah, they overstayed their time at their girlfriend's place and they fell asleep.
Yeah.
But we did have one breakout one night where a guy went down the fire escape because it sets off the alarm right through the convertible top engine. And it was honk.
Oh, nice.
Oh, it was so funny. That guy was an asshole.
Hence why it was funny that his car got plowed.
What are we drinking, Chris? What are we drinking?
We are drinking, what is this? This comes from Stalwart Brewery.
Stalwart
Carleton
Brewery.
Place.
Carleton Place. If you don't know where Carleton Place is, it is just a little bit too far from Ottawa.
Yeah, just ever so slightly. But it's got everything to it.
I bought a house out there because it was cheaper than buying a house in the city.
Absolutely.
And the best discovery I made was I moved 400 meters from the Stalwart Brewery.
Nice.
Yeah, they're the best. They do a lot of IPAs, and then they build on the flavors of the IPAs. So right now I'm drinking their Dr. Feelgood, and you're drinking their Dos Jefe, right?
Dos Jefe.
Right. The Dr. Feelgood is actually available in LCBOs, but it's not allowed to be called the Dr. Feelgood in LCBOs because it's got a photo of like a snake on like the cross.
Oh, it's like,
So people complained saying that it resembled too close to a health symbol, and that health symbol shouldn't be on beer, so they had to change it to like the snake oil salesman IPA.
Yeah, IPA. This would be great if it had a shot of pineapple juice into it.
Yeah, the Dos Jefe, because the Dos Jefe has grapefruit and vanilla.
Yeah, so if you put 2 ounces of pineapple juice in this and a shot of like a bit more.
Or just squeeze like a wedge of an orange in there.
Yeah, it would go good, but it'd have to be a thick wedge. It would have to be a thick wedge.
So here's the thing. The reason why we're kind of promoting Stalwart, other than the fact that they've got delicious beers, and Chris is actually going to jump onto an American pale wheat ale that they've got, is because they're actually showing interest in having us do a comedy show with them. I was in there today and we were chatting with them, and they would love to do they got a little mini venue. So if you're ever in the Ottawa Valley going through Carleton Place, stop by Stalwart, let them know that Daddy Issue sent you and that you want to see comedy there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then try out their beer, because their beer's delicious. After I'm done, I'm going to drink the Big Papa, which is a peach and apricot pale ale. It's delicious.
Stalwart had me at American Wheat.
American Wheat.
Wheat ale, and here we go.
Oh, that was sexy. You got it all over my pants.
But not over the MacBook, suckers.
All right.
That one
Yeah. So we're not allowed to put our drinks anywhere near the MacBook now.
I'll have you know, mine always go on the fucking floor.
Mine now no longer go on the table.
All right, cool. So here we are, mini episode.
Yeah, we actually ended the last mini episode. Actually, we don't really know what Minisode this is going to be. It might be Minisode 3, Minisode 4.
We ended one that was
about schools kind of shootings.
Yeah, you read a headline and I made fun of you for it.
Yeah, and we ended it with me being like, oh, I read a headline, and then Chris made fun of me, and then we just kind of ended the episode because we forgot, because Chris had smoked a little bit too much weed.
Way too much.
We'd recorded a bunch of Minisodes back to back to back, and so we were also a little bit loose.
Yeah.
That article, the headline that I read was actually about how dads these days are getting to spend on average 3 times more time with their children than dads did even 20 years ago.
That's incredible. And it's a super opportunity to bring up the segment we're talking about today, which is like the bonding.
Attachment and bonding.
Yeah, the attachment and bonding. Not to be mistaken with bondage, you weirdos. No, attachment and bonding. And
it's the new B in BDSM.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, God.
And the first 6 weeks, everything changes so much, and who they lean to, and parents, and every story is a little bit different. I mean, it all comes back around to us being dads, and dads getting more time, but...
Yeah, well, I was gonna say, we were talking outside just before we came down, and you have a very different experience than I do.
Huge, yeah.
And mine is we're at 3 weeks right now, so today as a date is September 6th. And I know that because it's payday. September 6th. So we will be 3 weeks on Sunday.
Okay.
And in the first week, Maddie, baby champ, Maddie, she loved both of us equally, right? It would be she would come to me and she would cuddle with me, and she would go to Kate and she'd cuddle with Kate. But now she hates me. I can't, you saw me pick her up, and it was the first time she let me pick her up without crying in maybe 4 days. And it's literally she's crying, like, just, like, whimpering, like, oh, I'm uncomfortable, and I'm like, okay, maybe it's, I gotta change your diaper, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I gotta change your diaper, and then the moment I pick her up, it turns into, like, pure, unadulterated, blood-curdling screams. It's just like, don't you fucking touch me! This is my body! I get to decide what happens with it! Put me the fuck back down! I don't want you! This is for mommy to do! And it's like, I'm the only one that cannot touch her.
Wow. That's pretty heavy. I didn't have that with either of the kids right away. I had a little bit with Erica. She would be a little bit fussy, and then I would just be like, oh, come on. And she would just be like, okay, cool.
I wish I could get the okay, cool.
Yeah, but with Eddie for the first, like, we had weekends together, right? And evenings, right? So Amanda was very lucky with Eddie. But Eddie also was never breastfed, because Amanda didn't have the opportunity to produce milk for any past the McClostum. He got McClostum, and then that was about it.
Yeah, we kind of I think we mentioned that it's either in the deleted episode that we didn't manage to record, or in the past episode where we talked about how there was that story where, like, you guys were stranded.
Oh, yeah, we were totally Pembroke, and nothing was open. There was nothing open 24 hours, and he hadn't eaten in almost, 18, yeah.
And she couldn't feed, yeah.
She couldn't feed, so it was like we stayed up all night. And I got there as soon as
the grocery store?
Yeah, grocery store opened. Walmart was the first thing open up there. But so I was able to do a lot more bonding with Eddie, because, I don't know, he wasn't 100% reliant on mom to feed him all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, you do get some sort of, like,
so
love,
we are pumping, right? And a big part of the pumping is because I go back to work September 25th. I think we've talked about this as well. We've got a great system in Canada that allows the male partner to take off at least 5 weeks if they want to, if their partner's also taking off maternity leave of 35 weeks. So, like, I'm taking off 6. I'm taking off a week unpaid in the 5 weeks, and I'll get EI for it, which will be fantastic.
Yeah.
So I've been able to do a lot of the night shifts. So because we're pumping, and because Kate is a master milker, guys. Let me tell you about my Mrs. Breasts. And I know her family's listening, so I'm sorry.
We're not sorry.
They produce so much milk. Like, we'll be watching TV, and on the TV, a baby will cry, and her shirt will get wet.
Wow.
There was a moment we were in public, and there was, like, we were at Toys R Us, Babies R Us, we were picking something up, and a baby behind us in line was crying, and she's like, we have to get out of here. Because he was starting to...
It was like, yo, the taps are open.
I think that's where it was. So she produces a lot of milk, which is fantastic, because I get to do the night shifts. Like, because Kate has to do a lot of this burden, and once I go back to work, I'm not going to be around a lot. I want to get some quality time. I want to be able to do this attachment and bonding, right?
Yeah.
I want her to recognize me as a source of comfort as well. And I know she'll come around to this, because this is all psychological. Babies go through this. Like, this isn't anything, like, I paid $200 to go to a bringing baby home class, and this is the one thing they talked about. Is like, dads, for the first 6 weeks, baby might hate you. Don't worry. There's going to be a point where once baby realizes how boobs work, they're going to love you more than mom, and then mom's going to get depressed like you were.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah, there's that reverse part. So it's going to come back around for you, man. It's a good pendulum. But, because the kids were both bottle fed, we didn't have that. I didn't have that 6 week the initial part there for sure.
Yeah, well, you also you're construction and you work for yourself, so like it's a little bit hard. Like, you can go on EI when you want to go on EI, but at the same time, like,
it didn't make much sense.
It never really does.
No. I mean, with Eddie, I was still working union.
Okay.
Right, so I didn't have much opportunity for downtime, I felt. I did just before he was born, and as much as I was cursing a union for, like, laying me off when my wife was 7 months pregnant, I also went, oh, sweet. I took the opportunity to, like, do everything that she was nesting about in the house. All the furniture and stuff like you did just before it happened, and the IKEA adventure we had. And I got to do that just before, but I also had to, like, piecework my butt off with another guy up in Petawawa. So that pieceworking's never fun. And for the guys who can do piecework drywall or any sort of item like that, my hat's off to you. So
I don't know what that means.
I mean, per piece of drywall, per square footage price, as opposed to an hourly rate price.
See, and here's the thing: is I bet there's a lot more dads out there that knew what you were talking about than me. But I'm definitely that artsy dad.
Artsy dad who likes IPAs.
Simon was like, "Aren't you excited for her to get into like soccer during the summer?" I was like, "Fuck no, she's going to musical theater camp."
I want to see my baby do Rent. Yeah!
Give me those jazz hands. Yeah. Give me those jazz hands. Fozzy hands. Fozzy hands. Fozzy hands. Jazz kick.
And if she goes in production, you're going to be super, super disappointed in her. No.
Hey, you know what? My parents, they invested a lot into me to do drama, like as a kid. And when I came to Ottawa, I did a community amateur theater drama presentation with... It was garbage. Oh, it was so bad.
You standing in the middle of a room, like naked with a hat around your junk, just chanting alphabets?
Oh, that would have been so much better. I played Jenna. Jenna was a young woman transitioning.
Oh.
But the thing is, the story had nothing to do with Jenna. Jenna was not written to be a transgender. Jenna was written to be a female. Jenna was written to be the best friend of a girl who got murdered by her boyfriend because her boyfriend had surgery to give him a permanent smile. So he couldn't stop smiling, and it drove him crazy. And the people around him were like, "You're going crazy!" And then he murdered his girlfriend. And
that's who Jenna was.
I was Jenna. I was the best friend to the girlfriend. Uh-huh. So the cops came to speak to me about Jenna. I had no real integral parts of the plot because I had nothing to give. And I quite literally was like, it was almost offensive.
Oh,
and I was like early 20s, almost offensive. I was out there in like fishnets, like short shorts, top. Like I like went all in a wig
with all that hair.
The chest hair was all out there, but like and the beard. But like I went all in with the wig and the makeup, and there was our stage manager.
Way to get your Frankfurt on.
As much as there's a complete difference between sexuality and gender. First off, I need to clarify that, and maybe our stage manager didn't understand that. Our stage manager was 100% convinced that I was gay.
Oh,
yeah, 100%. And I was dating a girl at the time, the girl that became my now ex-wife.
Well, a bunch of people thought so until you had this kid. But it could be an ultimate beard. No, just fucking with it.
But yeah, he was super convinced that I was 100%. And I was like, first off, Jenna's transgender. Secondly, I am not the character I play. My parents came up from London.
Oh wow!
I was in 4 scenes, and I had written pretty much these scenes because this play. I'm sorry if anybody in this play is listening to this. I bet you aren't because we burned bridges long ago.
Nice.
But if you are listening to this, you have to admit this play sucked. Permanent Smile was the worst thing that any of us have ever done, and we should all be ashamed of ourselves.
To this date.
Anyways. My parents come up from London. I'm doing this. It's so tight in these short shorts that I cut a little bit of segue in the crotch to let them breathe. And at the last minute, at the very end, there's a funeral scene that I'm in. And I'm supposed to sit down in this funeral scene. And my balls pop out.
Yes, good.
Just flat. Good. Not my dick. Just the balls. And it's also the same recording. Like, it's the same take that we're recording. So, like, we have a cast party for this 3 months later. And I'm just sitting there. And there go the balls.
Man, that's great.
It has been 10 years. My dad was just up this past weekend. We're driving to church on Sunday. And he turns to Kate, my baby mama, and goes, "Did he ever tell you about the time he went trans?" And I'm just like, oh my god.
Holy shit. Oh man. Like balls popping out on stage.
He brought it up at my wedding.
Oh wow.
He was like, there are things, and it wasn't about the trans, it was just how bad the play was. Because the play was awful.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I didn't make it any better. If anything, like, the addition of my character made it 100 times worse.
Oh, wow, man. That's
but, like,
crazy.
I was the only one that was 100% committed to my character.
Wow. That's some... Yeah, 100% balls committed. How committed is Matthew Champ to acting? Well, I'll let my balls hang out on stage to get that character.
So, long story short, Maddie's going to musical theater camp until her balls drop.
Wow.
Okay, so you didn't have the same issue with attachment and bonding that I did.
Didn't. No, well, I have a different attachment issue now with Eddie. He's been always much more of a mama's boy, for sure. He spent a lot more time. He, I don't know, I like to say imprinted on her, and like they still nap together, and he is going to be 312 weeks on next Tuesday.
Okay.
He's turning 6.
Turning 6?
He's turning 6.
Turning 6? Are we like throwing a kegger for him?
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
Yeah, it's the family keger's on Saturday, and then the next keger's the following Saturday.
Baby's
after
first
that.
keg stand.
Baby's first keg stand. And we're actually just going to do it with bubbly for them. You know, the effervescence will make them like, and then we're going to get them all hopped up on sugar, because that gets them drunk. You know, you can't tell me kids getting all drunk on sugar. First, they get a little bit lunatic, and then they get like this kind of, yeah, that's me when I'm drunk, for sure. So, but yeah, I didn't have that. And with Erica, Erica's definitely more of a daddy's girl, 100%. It took her a bit. She didn't want to have anything to do with me for a little bit because she was like, Mom is the one. But as soon as I got into a more of a working schedule with her, yeah, it was a good thing to have. It's actually bad with Erica because now she plays me for a sucker all the time and like puts on the tears. Like I'm facing like 3-year-old level like psychopath levels.
Is it psychopath or sociopath?
Yeah, same thing. No, well, explain the difference. Explain the difference.
Well, okay, so like a sociopath is really like self-involved, right?
Okay, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
The psychopath doesn't care about the destruction they wrought. They actually kind of get off on it, but the sociopath is about the inner...
Oh, she's a psychopath to her brother, but she's a sociopath to me.
Okay, so she's got like high levels of neurosis.
Yeah, she's like,
narcissistic personality disorder. You've been diagnosed, Erica.
NPD. She does like the praise and attention.
It could also be... I'm not going to play doctor here.
No.
But it could also be oppositional defiancy disorder.
Yeah. Yeah, anytime we say something, oh no, that's Eddie right now. He wants to do the... No, Erica does the opposite too.
Well, but sometimes they're also way too young to really diagnose with that.
Yeah.
You really need to be like 12 to 15 to get a real understanding if it's that or if it's adolescence.
I think this is just them testing the waters to see what they can get away with a lot of times.
How old is Erica?
Erica's 3.
3. Right, so like she's really growing into her personality right now.
Yeah.
Right? Like she has a personality that's defined, but she's also kind of discovering more of what that's going to look like.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big part of the Terrible Twos. It's because there's so much angst and we don't really know the psychology of a 2-year-old, right? We don't have the pre-development.
Eat, sleep, play,
right?
repeat. Eat, sleep, play, repeat.
But there's also rapid changes, right? From like that. And I keep saying this about Maddie. Part of the reason that she hates me is because right now her stomach is like doubling every couple of days. And she knows that my fun bags don't provide titty juice.
She's like, you're useless to me. You're
exactly.
Dead. You're dead to me
like,
right now.
You're only good to me at 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And I get that because that's an instinct for survival.
Yeah.
Right? But there's a point in life when it goes from being an instinct for survival to an instinct of... I choose to manipulate. I choose to
do this behavior. Yeah.
Bad seed.
Evil.
We had to watch that movie in a criminology course in university.
What was that?
The Bad Seed.
Oh, yeah.
It's like from the 50s. Like the nature versus nurture debate. Where a girl was just born evil. We've seen iterations of it, like with the Omen,
with
right?
the Omen, yeah.
Like the son of... But this is just an evil girl who was like, born evil. Her, like, mom was, like, a delinquent or something like that. And the nature of it.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with the nature. Yeah. Reefer madness.
Yeah. Just gonna turn you crazy like that, kids.
Oh, propaganda, man.
Oh, man, huge.
All right, look, we we need to know. Here's the thing with this whole attachment and bonding thing. It all comes back to everybody has a different experience, just like everybody has a different birthing story. Everyone lives a unique, special life. Thank you to those that actually reached out to us on Instagram and Twitter. We actually had a few interactions on Instagram around birthing stories, which was really cool.
That's neat. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for validating us.
Yay!
Is that Heather?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, Heather, stripper mom is coming over, and she's been messaging us because she just got off work, and she wanted to know if Chris could drive her here, but Chris is already here
and have been consuming alcoholic beverages.
So I was like, I'm sorry, but he can probably drive you home.
Yeah, yes. Yeah.
We love Stripper Mom.
Yeah, Stripper Mom's best.
Stripper Mom's one of our favorites. We're going to record an episode with her at some point.
Stripper Mom just came back from Burning Man.
I want to talk to her so badly about that.
We're going to figure it all out at a good time. But we need to hear from you, audience. Thank you.
Listeners, friends, Dick Army.
Dick Army!
Just in case you don't get that, because this is the first time I've called you our Dick Army. It's if you look at our picture, it's Daddy Issues with Champ and Kingsbury. So it spells D-I-C-K down. So
if you guys are listening to us, you're our army.
You know what?
You're our Dick Army.
This is our Minisode, but our Dick of the Week goes out to Daryl. Because Daryl fixed the MacBook.
Yeah,
Daryl is a dad. Daryl is a granddad. Daryl's daughter is listening to this, and she's going to send a text to my wife, my partner. She's not really my wife yet. My partner, and be like, hey, thanks for the shout out from my dad. So, Corinne, here's one for you, too.
Thank you for bringing this back to life. It was dead, and we couldn't have done it without you.
Oh, yeah. Apple was going to charge us like $1,700.
Yeah, they were like, just buy something new.
It was a $50 part.
Yeah.
Not even a $50 part. It was
$42.99.
And a cleaning. Fuck you, Apple.
They're taking a big bite out of an apple and then stuffing it right up your hoop. Anyway.
Let us know.
Your Apple horror stories. We want to hear your Apple horror stories.
I really want to know about what it was like for you dads. Dads, this is a question for dads. Or for wives that saw this with the dads. Or partners. Maybe single mothers. You didn't have this experience. When did you notice that the child, the baby, started to shift back to that second parent? And how was it for you? Right? Like for me, Kate thinks I'm distraught. And I'll admit I'm a little depressed that anytime I touch my baby, she shrieks. And so she thinks that I'm frustrated. I'm like, I'm not frustrated. I'm just exhausted because I'm exhausted. I'm tired of being yelled at. I'm just tired of being screamed at constantly. She went away for a 2-hour massage yesterday, and it was just me and Maddie, and it was an hour and 45 minutes of her just shrieking.
Wow.
And I just sat there. I was like, you got a clean diaper, so fresh and so clean.
Clean.
And, she'd been fed, she'd been burped, she had her soother, she had her swing, she had my chest if she wanted to lie on it.
She was like, no, I don't need no bearskin rug.
When does it get better for me? Please let me know. Daddy needs to sleep.
I already told him this a couple hours.
Please like and subscribe.
Yeah. Share us.